All right, and the recording has started. So before we get too much into the challenge process, I want to talk for a minute about word that we're getting back from you guys, from our stakeholders throughout Arkansas, that the broadband office needs to provide more guidance. There are a lot of questions on what the county broadband committees can do, what local governments can do, what citizens can do going into the challenge process. And I want to let all of you know we hear you. We hear these comments, and we hear them from all over the state, and we're going to work on that. We're going to be working on a full court communications plan with details, information about what you can do to be involved, how the challenge process is going to work. As I said at the end of our webinar on Friday, that is not the end of our communications with stakeholders going into the challenge process. That was just the beginning. What you saw was a high-level overview. We were showing off our challenge portal. It's great technology, but the greatest technology in the world doesn't do you a lot of good if you don't know how to use it, you don't know what it's for, and you don't have good instructions. So guys, we are going to be communicating quite thoroughly between now and when the challenge process starts. So I just wanted to let you know we hear you, and we're going to respond. So with that, let's talk about the challenge process for just a minute. The best way to describe the challenge process is that this is a data quality exercise. We get data, mapping data from the federal government, from the FCC and the NTIA, that lists every broadband serviceable location in Arkansas. And within that data, it shows whether that broadband serviceable location, whether it's a house, a business, a community anchor institution, what type of internet is available to that house. And what the challenge process is an opportunity to get that data as up to date as possible, because when the challenge process is over and we have made all the updates to that map, that final data is what we are going to go to bid with in the summer. The locations left that on that map that still show those households are either unserved or underserved. Those are the households we're going to bid out to get high-speed internet to. Same line, we're going to the community anchor institutions that are identified at the end of the challenge process are the CAIs, the community anchor institutions, that we're going to bid out and make sure they have access to at least a gig. So think of the challenge process as cleaning up the data. We're going to show a map with the data we have now, and we're going to have a 3-month process to clean up that data, get it as accurate as possible, and that's what we go to bid with. So that's what the challenge process is, and we're going to talk a little bit more in a minute about everybody's role. So the challenge process is a requirement by the NTIA. We can't go to bid until the challenge process is complete. So, sorry, Andrew, you go ahead and go to the next slide. Who can submit a challenge? This is limited by the NTIA, but there are 3 groups that are eligible challengers. ISPs can challenge the map, units of local government can challenge the map, and nonprofit organizations. All right, next slide. All right, so how does the challenge process work? Well, in January, our office is going to make public on our website a map the map that we're going to be going into the challenge process with. It's color coded, showing all the broadband serviceable locations in Arkansas. You'll see different colored dots. Each one of those dots is a location, and the color of that dot will tell you whether that location is unserved, underserved, served, or is a community anchor institution. All right, so that map will be published in January, just as soon as the U.S. Commerce Undersecretary signs off on our proposed initial proposal, Volume 1. All right, so that map has to be put out for the public for at least 1 week. And then after that week that it's been made public, that's when the challenge process will start. And you guys will have 30 days to submit challenges. That's phase 2. Phase 3, at the end of that 30 days, ISPs will have 30 days to provide a rebuttal. If they disagree with what the challenge that you put in is, they will provide rebutting evidence, and they'll have 30 days to do that. And then phase 4, another 30 days, our office will adjudicate the challenge and the rebuttal and make the final determination on the status of that location. And once that rebuttal, or once the adjudication is done, we send it to the NTIA, get approval, get a sign off on it, and then we make the final map public for at least 60 days before we can start the bidding process next summer. So that's the process in a nutshell. A few commonly asked questions here. How can individuals take part if you're not an elected official or a member of a nonprofit or an ISP? So individuals cannot submit challenges. However, they can coordinate with eligible challengers to make sure their area is included in the challenge. So individuals can reach out to the Broadband County committees, who can put them in touch with an elected official. You can reach out to a nonprofit and have those folks submit the challenge for you. And that's how individuals can get involved. So units of local government, what does this include? And again, this is determined by the NTIA. But it's going to include basically any elected official in the state, members of the General Assembly, county judges, mayors, justices of the peace, city council members, or school board members. Any of those elected officials can submit a challenge. All right. So what do you need to do now? Have your evidence ready. Go ahead and be conducting speed tests right now on areas that might be shown as served, but you know they're not getting at least 100 megs. So you could start collecting that evidence. Installation quotes. Sometimes on the map, you'll see an area marked as served by a provider, yet that provider is asking for an extra $1,000 to run the fiber up a long driveway to that person's house. Well, if you've ever been quoted a higher installation charge than that ISP's standard installation charge, we're going to mark that as unserved or underserved, because served means that the fiber or the service near your house, it can be installed within 10 days at the normal installation charge. If you've been quoted more than the normal installation charge, then you need to challenge that or have it challenged so that we can mark that as underserved, so that we can afford funding. All right. Internet bills that show you can only get a certain speed that is under 100 megs. Other types of evidence is all the types of evidence required is lined out in our challenge portal based on the type of challenge you submit. So it'll walk you right through what you need to do. Also, we hope to be able to open the portal early so that eligible challengers can register in the, instead of having to wait until the first day of the challenge. We want to get people registered as soon as possible. We cannot open that up until we have permission from the NTIA, but we will communicate as thoroughly as we can on the date we do open it up for registration, so you can get your eligible challengers can get registered before go live date. So we'll be sharing more information on that as we learn more. All right. Resources for the challenge process. Well, we've already talked about how to register. That registration is all this is going to happen on our website. The registration form will be there. We recorded the webinar from Wednesday and needs a little bit of editing. And once it's done, we're going to put that on our website for you to watch if you missed Wednesday's webinar or just need a refresher. We're working on a user guide for the challenge portal. It is thick, it is detailed, it is very useful. We are not allowed to share it again until the NTIA gives us the go ahead. But as soon as the user guide for the challenge portal can be made public, we will make it public and send out a link for that. We understand these resources aren't available yet. It's frustrating. Our hands are tied, but we are going to make everything available just the minute that we are allowed to. So we'll be keeping in constant contact with you for that. All right, going to share some questions that we got from the webinar. One, what exactly are we challenging and who decides who wins? Well, we're challenging the status of the broadband serviceable locations, whether they are served, underserved, or unserved. That's what we're challenging. If it's unserved or underserved, there's not a whole lot you have to do, because if it's unserved or underserved, it's eligible for BEAD funding. We're really wanting to look at the places that are marked as served, that are not really served, either because they're not getting the 100 meg that's been promised, or that you've been asked for an extra installation charge. Those are really the ones we're wanting to zero in on. We're also challenging whether a site is a community anchor institution according to our definition, or not a community anchor institution according to our definition. So when you see CAIs on there, or you're looking for a CAI and it's not denoted as a CAI, that's a challenge as well. And then who decides who wins, as we put it? You'll submit the challenge, the ISP will provide a rebuttal, and then our office will adjudicate based on the evidence. Do questions have to stay in the county that you represent? No. You may submit challenges outside of your county. We're not limiting anybody to that. What is the minimum metric being used to define served, unserved, and underserved? So served for BEAD purposes means at least 100 megs, 100 down, 20 up. Underserved is less than 100 down and more than 25, and unserved is anything less than 25 megs up. 25 megs down, 3 megs up. Arkansas is kind of fortunate in this way that we don't we don't stress a lot about the difference between unserved and underserved because our models show we're going to be able to fund all unserved and underserved locations. So really, we're looking at served versus less than served. So we don't spend a lot of time worrying about whether something has 25 megs and is unserved or 26 megs and is underserved. So don't put a lot of effort into breaking those down. We're just looking at what's less than 100 megs. Census blocks. If you're not slated to receive grant funding, what will come of the info you provide? Will participation here present an opportunity for future grant funding? Now, with the BEAD program, our office has a mandate to reach 100% of all unserved and underserved locations. So as long as the location is unserved or underserved, we will get funding to build that and get that location served. We have no idea about any future funding. There is nothing on the books. There's really nothing that we're tracking. BEAD process, the goal is to get to 100%. So next slide. More questions. And we've got a lot of backup folks, a lot of folks backing me up who are a lot smarter than me who can answer your questions. So I wanted to go ahead and open it up for questions now. Any subject, any topic. Got it. Somebody's got to be first. Go ahead and bite the bullet.
Maybe a quick question. Will ISPs use the same challenge portal if they find areas that are marked as unserved, underserved, but want to dispute and show evidence that those are served?
Thanks for that question, Josh. And the short answer is yes, but Julie, are you with us? You want to expand on that? I'm not hearing from Julie, but the short answer is yes, Josh. It's going to be the same portal, and ISPs absolutely can challenge the map during the challenge phase, and we will look at the evidence and adjudicate after that. So a couple of questions in the chat. How many economic development teams are leading county ABLN committees? How many economic development groups are involved in this at all? Anna, I don't have a count, and I think there's definitely a role for economic development teams at the county level, the city level, the regional level. Some are very involved with county broadband committees. Some are involved without being part of the county broadband committees. We welcome more involvement, and if you know of an economic development team that you would like for us to pull in and walk through how this is going to work, give them some training and some background, absolutely reach out to me, please. Shoot me an email, and we will definitely do some outreach. Question from Bryce. Hey, Bryce, is the pre-registration form for elected officials already available on the AR Connect website? No, sir. We're not allowed to open it up for pre-registration until approval from NTIA. Anna, again, instructed our county judge, quorum court, state rep, that they will be approached with filing challenges. Is this correct? Yes, for those who have not been approached, most of them should have already been approached, but we're going to be doing more communications with more details, more instructions, more best practices. So yes, I think we can confidently say that we're going to reach out to all of those groups and people that you mentioned, and we can look forward to those communications coming out. Excellent. Thanks, Anna. And Anna brings up a great point. We are a tiny office. We're stuck in Central Arkansas. We will take suggestions from everybody and anybody on folks who we haven't reached out to or thought to reach out to, or we don't have contact information for. Please share that, and we will in turn reach out and share that communication with them, because like I said, we're a small group. We're growing, but we're still small, and we're geographically centered. And so by all means, share with us who you would like for us to bring into the fold. See a question from, can't see your name. Yukiko, what can I do for you? Do I need to unmute you?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you for this webinar, because this was more clear than the Wednesday. We felt like, oh my goodness, what we're going to do okay, there is a set strategy that we can follow, and that's a great relief. So thank you for that. So I am trying to think how we can articulate the value to the citizens so we can get a buy-in to this. So when we say internet broadband, if they don't see what's benefit for them, we can get the buy-in from them. So do you have anything strategy and verbiage that you guys worked on the county can implement?
To get that the county can implement to get buy-in from citizens?
Yes. Yes. So like a challenge and stuff. So my understanding, you guys have a FCC maps already kind of organized and categorized the map itself. So all we as a county as a whole needs to look into the places where is marked as well served, and making sure that it's not. So that way the underserved location, we don't have to worry about it because it is underserved. So, but then how you are guys expecting county judge to communicate with county employee and further the citizens so they understand the importance of this project?
That's a great question, and we can take note of that as we develop additional communications and provide that kind of guidance to the county judges or to the elected officials to get that stakeholder buy-in. So it's a work in progress, but it's being moved as speedily as we can.
Thank you so much.
Got a question from Josh. What is the source of the map from the federal government that will be used? Is it the FCC broadband map, the BDC map? Julie, did you arrive? Looking for my colleague Julie DeKuyper.
I don't think she's here.
Okay, Julie's not here. So the mapping can be confusing. So in a sense, the FCC map and the BDC map and the NTIA map are interrelated, yet they provide updates at different times. The map we have in our portal right now is not finalized. We're waiting. We're going to be inserting the most recent NTIA data into that map. Now, that NTIA data is from the same database, same company as the FCC/BDC map. So the data on the map that shows unserved, underserved, or served is ISP data that they have. ISPs are required to update the FCC every 6 months with the broadband serviceable locations in their footprints and what speeds and the type of technology are available. So that's done every 6 months. So we are going to go into the challenge process with that data, with the most recent release of that data that we can get our hands on. And so to answer your question, Josh, it's really all of the above. It derives from that main FCC database that is updated by ISPs. Does that answer your question? Hey, Brandon, did I hear you say that the individual county challenge maps show served addresses individually? Yes, it does. If you guys don't mind, I will share the map real quick. Again, the data I'm going to be showing on this map is preliminary. This is not the final data. We're going to be going into the challenge process with, but let me show you our portal in case you missed it on Friday. Let me know when you can see our screen.
Yeah, I can see it, Mike.
Okay, so what you're looking at is the challenge portal as if you are a challenger and have already logged into it. See a little silhouette of Arkansas, pardon me, with all these dots. Each dot represents broadband serviceable location. The dots are color coded, so the pink ones you see are unserved. The blue ones you see are underserved. The gray ones you see are served. That means they get at least 100 megs, not including satellite coverage. We don't consider that served, even if they say they're getting over 100. And then the green ones you see are something I haven't talked about yet. The green dots indicate that there has already been federal or state funding assigned to that dot. So we can't duplicate funding. So if the FCC has awarded an RDOF grant, if there's a CAF2 grant, enhanced ACAM, there are a lot of other programs out there that predated BEAD and are still under construction. Well, we can't award those dots since some public funds have already been awarded to them. So anything you see in green is off the table for BEAD. But funding has been applied, so they will be getting internet. So I'm going to drop out the green. And then we're just looking at unserved, underserved, and served. Now, the unserved and underserved, those will be eligible for BEAD funding. The gray dots that we're looking at, to make sure the ISPs say they're served, we need to make sure that's accurate. So you asked a question about individual service addresses. Yes, you can zoom in, and I'm gonna head to, where am I heading? All right. So these you see, the more you zoom in, the more dots you're going to see. It becomes a lot more detailed. You start to see street names. And then here we've got a neighborhood that's got a lot of served locations and some unserved locations mixed in. It's so you can zero in on an individual address, click on it, and then at that individual address level, you can see that it's unserved, and you can see all of the services that are available to it, and you notice each one of those services that are available to it are considered unserved because they don't reach 100 meg or 25 meg. And you go to another one nearby, and you can see that it is served by a cable company at more than 100 megs. So, Brandon, was that your question? Good deal. Thanks, Brandon. So that is the challenge portal. I do want to let you guys know, zoom out, we are going to put, just for better reference, we are putting a county line overlay on this map. I've had a lot of requests for that, and I just think it'll work better. Also, I'm using dark mode right now. I'm not a fan of dark mode. My kids put dark mode on all of their devices, on their iPhones and everything. It drives me crazy, but it's just kind of the style right now. The dark mode is growing on me on this map because those dots, the colored dots, really pop out against the black. But if you don't like that, want to make sure you know, you can change it to if you down here at the bottom, you have different options. You've got satellite, light mode, and modes that show the terrain. So it's going to be a matter of personal preference. You can change it at any time. So, any questions? Had some great questions today. Thank you. I'll leave it up for just another minute or two. And you can shoot questions to us about any topic, any subject having to do with broadband. It doesn't have to be related to the challenge process. I would like to show you how CIAs are designated. You are going to be able to filter the maps just for CAIs, but we don't have that data in there yet. So, but you will be able to toggle in and just to examine CAIs if you'd like. Andrew, when is our next ABLN meeting?
The next ABLN meeting is scheduled for the 29th. It'll
Okay.
be an office hours session. Stay
right.
tuned. Teams is having some issues with webinars. So the usual pathway to join hasn't been working for whatever reason. So stay tuned for a sort of new format. When I send out the invite email, I'll be sure to let everyone know, make it clear exactly how to join. But yeah, just be conscious that, it may be different from past ABLN meetings.
Okay. Thanks for that update, Andrew. So we will not be meeting as a group together before Christmas. So I hope everybody enjoys wonderful holiday season. But just because we're not meeting doesn't mean you can't reach out to us. Like I said, we are ratcheting up communications. We know you want more communications. That's what we're here for. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Give us ideas on what we can communicate better and more thoroughly, and we will take that and act on it. So we appreciate this cooperative relationship we have, and we want to keep it going all through this process. So with that, I'm gonna give it just another few moments for any final questions. All right. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. So glad to have you here. And I wish you the best and be safe out there.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.